Hi everyone and welcome back to the multiverse of 100 plus data science project series. In this video, you will learn how to create an assistant that can answer questions about YouTube videos. So without wasting any time, let us start our tutorial right now. So in order to creating this project, you're going to be using here the LangChain, and we're also installing here some of the important libraries like LangChain Community, LangChain Groq, YouTube Transcript API, as well as the FAISS CPU, which is nothing but one vector store database. And using this YouTube transcript API, you can directly accessing the video from the YouTube, as well as we can transcribe the video. And using this LangChain Groq, we can accessing here the Groq Cloud API from the Groq Cloud workspace. And using this community, you're going to do some kind of operations in our videos using the rack. So let's install it by clicking this button, or you can also using the shift enter. So you can say requirement already satisfied. So we're going to click on here and we're going to clear the output. And after that, I'm going to importing here all of the important library that we installed. So let's say from LangChain underscore community or langchain dot document loader. So let's say documents loader, we're going to importing here the YouTube loaders. So using this YouTube loader, we can load the transcript from YouTube videos. So let's say YouTube loader. And then from langchain dot text splitter, we're going to importing here the recursive, that's a recursive character text splitter. And using this one, you can split the large transcript into smaller chunks. And then from LangChain dot embeddings and dot hugging face, you're going to using the free one, importing here the hugging face embedding. So if you have the access of the OpenAI premium version or the DeepSeek R1, you can easily using this one, the embedding for that. And you can using this one, you can convert the text into embedding vectors so that you can store it inside your database as well. This is nothing but an embedding representation of the vector. That's it. Now from LangChain underscore Groq, we are going to importing here the chat Groq. So chat Groq, these ones. Using this one, you can accessing the large language model from the Groq cloud without any cost. So then you're going to importing here from LangChain dot vector stores. You're going to importing here the FAISS. So which is nothing but a vector restored database. You can also using the ChromaDB in here, but it's better you can using here this FAISS as well. And then we're going to importing here the chain. So let's say from langchain dot chains, we are going to importing here the LLM chains. Let's LLM chains, and using this one we can create a pre-processing chain for our AI models. And now we're going to defining here that how our AI should respond. So let's say first from langchain dot prompts dot chat, you're going to importing here the chat prompt template. There's a chat prompt template. Then you're going to importing here the uh, system message prompt template. Then you have the human message prompt template. This is that the definition that how our AI should actually respond. And then we're going to importing here on text wrap so that we can wrap it with some kind of weight. So let's say text wrap. That's it. Okay, text wrap should be like that. Now let's shift enter into running the shells. Now you can see it imported. So see YouTube video loader in order to load the transcript for the YouTube videos, then recursive character text splitter to split the large transcript into some smaller chunks, and Hugging Face embedding, it's free to use. Using this one, we can convert the text into embedding, I mean the vector representations. And chat block is nothing but for accessing the free and open source model. The FAISS is nothing but the vectors to database, and LLM chain is nothing but for creating the processing chain for the AI model. And this is nothing but that define that how our AI model should work or should respond. Now we simply going to initialize the embedding. So let's say embedding, let's say embedding is equal to, let's say, Hugging Face embeddings. So this one you can using in the OpenAI embedding as well, but in the case of OpenAI, you need to pay for that. So let's take in some shell more. Okay, that's it. And now let's try to running this out. That's our embeddings. So our embedding is also loading. You can see Hugging Face embedding. And now we're going to creating here some kind of a function so that you can easily use it. Okay, so first we're going to creating here functions which are creating the database, I mean the backtrace to database from our YouTube URLs. So what I can do, you can simply going to creating a function. Let's say def create, let's say create db from YouTube video URL. Let's say YouTube video URL. So you can see that it is to actually installing here the all of the sentence transformer, all the information regarding my these embeddings. Okay, so you can also clear the output because it's not needed at all. You're focusing on creating here the functions. So this function create db from YouTube video URL. So it will taking a video URL as argument, and then what I can do is simply going to using here this YouTube video URL in order to transcribe the video in the form of text. So we're going to using here this YouTube video URL, YouTube video loader, sorry, YouTube video loader, and from YouTube URL. So let's say from YouTube URL, and then you're going to paste here this video URLs. So let's say video URLs. So that's why actually installing here this library called YouTube Transcript API. And now inside that, we're passing here the video URL already. Let's store it inside a variable called loaders. And then we can simply going to using this one to load our video. Let's say load. And this is nothing but my transcript. So let's say transcript, let's say transcript. So you can also test it out by importing here any video URL, but I'm not going to testing it here because I know that it will work. Now, after that, what it do, how you're creating here a rack system, we have to first split, I mean, split the text into some kind of chunk so that you can pass it to our large language models. So we have to using here this recursive character splitter. So I don't think that is needed. Those show shall is needed because when actually press the shift enter, it automatically created. So recursive text splitter, then inside that I'm going to passing here the chunk size, that you have to give mention the chunk size in how many sizes you're going to chunk your uh, transcript text. So let's give it here the 2000s, and then chunk overlap. Let's see if the chunk is overlap or not. So we're going to overlap the chunk into, let's say, 100. Let's say overlap is equal to 100. So that's it. Now let us store it inside a variable. Let's call text splitter. And after that, we are going to simply going to split the documents. So let's split it using this text splitter that we created, splitter.split, and inside that we're going to passing here our transcript that we loaded from our video URLs. And now we're simply going to store it inside a variable called docs, and then we are going to store it inside the database that you already imported, FAISS. So let's import it inside that. So let's say FAISS, FAISS dot from document, from documents, and you're going to passing here the docs and the embedding. So let's embedding, that's it, embeddings. Now this is nothing but my db, right? Db, and then I'm going to returning here the db. So let's return the db. So you can also test it out with your video URL. Okay, so let's test it out so that you can confirm that yet it's working. So I'm going to creating here a variable called video underscore URL, and then I'm going to pasting here an URL from my YouTube video playlist. This is nothing but a monster project where I'm actually creating here an AI chatbot like that. So now I am simply going to calling this one. Let's say create db from YouTube video URL, and I'm going to give it here this video URLs. So let's shift enter. So it will returning the db, right? Yeah, it returned the db. So let's returning here the transcript so that you can see. That's a transcript, and let's running this out. And now let's see. Then you can see the transcript. So here the review code. So let's see. We got an error or inspect the console like you are having some bad response error problem. Okay, this is not even coming from my videos. You can see app.jsx. That's been this code is based on React.js, and you can see, I mean, it will actually showing here the last one. You can see thank you, bye bye, last one, but it will start it from here. Okay, it have so many tags, right? You can see to transcribe all of things. Yep, it should be started from here, I hope so. It's quite long. See, quite long. Okay, you can see, hi everyone and welcome back to Multiverse of 100 plus data science project series. In this video, you will learn how to creating a monostack. Okay, it not actually transcribe it correctly. Monostack project using DeepSeek R1, and let's have a look our demo application first. Yeah, it's working very fine. Just because of my some language issue or the pronunciation issue, it's not it unable to transcribe it clearly. But yes, it's working. So to return here the DB, cool. That's mean our transcript API is working perfectly. Cool. Now what I can do is simply going to creating here another function where you can get in the response from the queries. So let's say def. So we're going to taking two shells. So let's say def. We're going to let's say get response. Let's say response from query. That's mean we can give some query or you can chat with our YouTube videos. And that's mean in our YouTube videos that you actually passed here as an input, so you can also chat with them. Okay, so we're going to give it here db, and then I'm going to give it to the query, and as well as k equal to 4 is nothing but my query response that you're going to take in the page content from here. So I'm taking here the first four page content from here, because if I run in this one, then you can see that it's nothing but a long text. This is nothing but the transcript of my YouTube videos. So I'm just taking here the fourth pages from here. So what I can do first, I'm going to using here this db similarity. That's called db similarity, so that we can easily searching similarity score from here. So that's a similarity. So it should be similarity db dot similarity db is here, right? Yeah, I think. Okay, it on here. Let's say db similarity. Okay, similarity, and you're going to using here the search similarity search, and inside that you're going to passing here the query, and k is nothing but the k is passing from here. So this is nothing but my docs. I mean similar docs. And after that we're going to give it here my docs page content, so that we can access it based on my query. So what I can do is simply going to first join them. So let's say join, and then you're going to take in the page content from a docs. So let's say d in docs, this is nothing but a page content, and it is nothing but a list itself. So we're going to join them, and we're taking here the db d dot page content. Let's go page content. So d dot page content, now you have the page content, and you're going to store it inside a variable. Let's call it docs page content. Let's say content, right? So while actually running this code, I mean these functions, you see that we have just one page content variables. We are just taking the page content from here, or the first four pages, so that you can just have a look about that what actually happening inside this video, so that you can also ask any question based on that. So it will try to taking all of them and try to creating here and content from here. Now we need to give here the API key from the Groq Cloud API, so that we can also using here our large language model. Now let's go on the Groq Cloud workspace, and let's see how can you access the API as well as how can you access the model. So that's our Groq Cloud workspace, and in the user message you can type any message and click on submit, and our AI will respond. So let's go to the documentation sections, and let's search for the models. And you can see here several types of model are available, just like the DeepSeek R1 model as well as available, Llama or the Gamma 2 by Google. So it's free to use. You can easily access them by using this API key. So let's click on the API key, and then let's create an API key. Now let's give it here one name. Let's give it here, let's say YouTube, and then click on submit, and just copy this API key. And now let's go on the code. And inside that, what I can do, you're going to using here this chat Groq that you already imported. So we are going to using here this chat Groq. Let's using here the chat Groq, and inside that you're going to give it here the API key, API underscore key, and then you can paste here your API key, and after that you can give it to the models. So now you need to give it a model name, as well as you need to give it here on value called temperatures. So let's go on the workspace again, then see what is the temperature actually is. Temperature is nothing but here, I mean how many times it will try to randomly actually generate the values. Okay, you can, if you hover over here, you can see control the randomness, rewarding result in less random competition, like that. Okay, so you're going to pass it as 0. Now if I go inside this document sections, and inside the model you can using here any kind of model from here. So let's using here this one llama 3.3 17 million versatile, or you can also using here uh, DeepSeek R1 model, the distillated model as well. You can use any of them. So let's paste it to here, and that's our model. And now let's store it inside a variable. Let's call chat, because this is a chat model. And after that we need to give it here one prompt. So let's say template, and now it's better I can type it, and I'm going to back again. So okay, so I type it here. You are a helpful assistant that can answer question about the YouTube video based on the video transcript, and passing here the docs, these docs, and only use the factual information from the transcript to answer the questions. If you feel like you don't have any information to answer the question, just say I don't know. That's the template. Okay, simple templates. And then we're simply going to also creating here one template for the humans. This is nothing but a system template where you're going to pass it to our large language model. So you're going to using here the system, let's say system prompt template, message prompt template, and inside that you're going to you pass it here. Let's say from template you're going to passing here this template. Let's call template, and then let's store it inside a variable called system. Let's say sys system message prompt. Let's say prompt, and then it also passing here one human template as well. So let's pass it here. Let's say human template, and then you're going to using here. Let's answer the following question. That's it. Simple, straightforward. Okay, so let's give it to the questions, and then we're going to pass it to the human message prompt template dot from template, and we are going to pass it here. Let's say we're going to pass it here this human template that I created, and this is nothing but my human message prompt. So let's say human message prompt. So now let's creating here the chat prompt. So let's create the chat prompt. So let's say chat prompt template dot from underscore message, and you're going to pass here my system message and the human message prompt. And after that we're simply going to creating here one LLM chain. Let's create a LLM chain. So LLM chain, and inside our LLM we're going to give it here the chat, and the prompt you're going to give it here my chat prompt. Let's say chat underscore prompt, and that's nothing but my chain. So let's say chat underscore prompt. Now it will giving me here a response, so you can directly get in the response from the chain. Let's call chain dot run, and then I'm going to give it here the question, and questions is nothing but my query, and then docs is nothing but the docs page content, and that's our response. Let's say response. So now let's replace it. Let's say response is equal to response dot replace, and you're going to give it to here. Let's say backslash n, and replace with just null string. If I have any response and the backslash n in our response, we just remove it, and then you're going to be returning here the response and the docs. So this is nothing but my functions get response from query. Now you can simply going to access it. So we're going to access it here. That's our video URL, that's our DB, and now we can simply going to give it to the DB from our get response from query. So it will taking one DB and the query. So we need to also give it the query. So let's say give it here one query. So let's say what is this video about, like that. So we're going to store it inside a two variable called response and the docs, because we'll be returning here two things, response and the docs. Now you can simply go into printing to here. Let's print here the, let's say, text wrap. So let's say text wrap dot fill, and inside that you're going to give it here the response, and then you're going to give it here the width. Let's say width is equal, let's say 70. You can give it a width. You can also printing here this docs if you wanted to printing this out. So let's try to printing here in the next line. Let's say print the text wrap. So let's say text wrap, and just give it to the one width so that it look better. So we're going to printing in the docs. So let's say docs. So now let's running this out. So if you want to okay, again any errors, similarity search, I mean the problem. Okay, let's say similarity, let's say search like that, db dot similarity search, SIMILARITY similarity search. Okay, I think now we can running this out. Okay, list object has no attribute called similarity search. So why? This is the db, right? db, and we have this db. Okay, I think I need to run it again. So here you go. Because in the first time we actually returning here the transcript, that's why it's called the list objects. Now it will give the response, I hope so. So expand type. Okay, for the docs we are not going to expand it, we can simply going to printing this out, because this is in docs itself, so you cannot use it in the text app, so we can printing like that docs. Okay, that's the docs, that's it having a document id, and you can see that the document, I mean the transcript of the videos. Now let's see what are the response we got. So we got here some response. Let's say this videos about creating an AI code review application from scratch, including setting up the backend using Node.js and Express, and creating the front end using React.js. This application uses a DeepSeek R1 model to review and improve the code in language such as Python, Java, and C++. Cool. One mistake, DeepSeek, it should be not Deep R1, DeepSeek R1, just because of the bias issue in my video, that's why transcription is wrong. Okay, but yet it will working fine. So you see that how can you using here any YouTube videos, you can chat with it. Okay, so you can also creating here one grading application for that, but it's your homework, because in this multi-bird series I already creating here so many videos regarding the GNAI, and where in each and every video actually creating the grading application. So I think you are able to creating here on grading application for this project as well. So that's your homework. Let's say homework to create a grading application. So application, if you are using here actually the Google Colab, but if you are using here the your local system, you can using here, you can creating here a flux, you can creating here a flux, or you can also creating here the first API, or you can also using the React.js. Okay, that's up to you. Okay, so that's all about this full tutorial. I hope so you like this full video. If you like it, just hit the like button to the YouTube, comment, subscribe, and share with your friend. Thank you and bye bye.